I was taken aback by this story on Wednesday morning when you wake up and you hear what's going on in New York City. Democrat socialist lawmaker wins the primary, basically. Zohran Mamdani declares victory. I mean, Andrew Cuomo conceded, took the podium late Tuesday night and conceded. I don't know if everybody is appreciating, and we're just maybe fully grasping it, but is appreciating the importance of this happening in the biggest, most important, arguably, city in the United States of America. For this 33-year-old man who is a socialist to come in, he's from Uganda and he's Indian as well. Pro-Palestinian hunger strikes. I want to go through the list of things that have been on his platform and he was pushing during his campaign. Here's a couple of examples. He wants free school lunches in New York City. He wants free city buses. He wants free childcare. He wants to freeze rent. This one is scary. He wants New York City to be a sanctuary city for queer and trans people. When I say scary, because it's the word sanctuary city, that applies to anything, not queer, trans, any of that, because that includes, as we know, illegal immigrants as well. Committing $65 million, this is a scary one actually, $65 million to trans procedures for children and adults alike. It goes on and on and on. And for a city that was once so great, that Rudy Giuliani, frankly, is the one that went in and really, really cleaned it up, and the streets became safe again after years of them not being safe, and clean in many ways, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
We have seen it go south in so many different ways under Eric Adams, who has slowly but surely regained, if he ever had any, some common sense over the last 6 to 8 months. And I think we know why with the election of Donald Trump. But for this man to potentially be able to lead the great city of New York with these kind of policies, which, by the way, also includes government-run grocery stores.
Redirects city funds from corporate supermarkets to city-owned grocery stores, whose mission is lower prices, not price gouging. These stores will operate without a profit motive.
Anything government-run should scare us, in my mind. And as our brilliant producer, Rachel Braun, pointed out earlier, I mean, she lives there, and you can't even go into a DMV that's organized, which is run by the government. So I am taken aback by the fact that New York City would elect someone who is so inexperienced as well, but is running on those specific platforms. And I'll end with this and get your reaction. Charlie Kirk had an incredible tweet about it. Just, again, emphasizing the importance of this happening in New York City. A poll by Emerson College that Cuomo was leading Mamdani among voters without a 4-year college degree, 61 to 39%. That was coming into the election. Mamdani leads Cuomo among college-educated voters, 62% to 38%. What that says about the state of higher education, especially up there in the Northeast, is just shocking and devastating and leads to a much, much deeper conversation at another time. But to me, for this man to come in and push these policies and then really win convincingly enough for that Cuomo says, okay, I'm out, good job. What is happening in New York City?
Let me just say one sentence real quick, and then Russell can go first because there's so much to say about this. But just to be clear, he's not going to be mayor just yet. This was the Democrat. This was the Democrat primary. I saw a lot of people that were very confused about that last night. So there is a chance this guy does not become mayor. But regardless or irregardless, as they say, it's bad news for New York. Russell, why don't you go ahead? Because you're scribbling things. And I know if Russell Brand is scribbling something, it's got to be important.
I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear, if I didn't say the Democratic primary. Because
you might have, but it's worth reiterating because I saw so many people that were freaking out last night as if it was just starting right now. And there still is a chance. I'm not very bullish on it, but there's still a chance. Russell, what are you scribbling over there?
I think you set it up real clear, actually, Sage, but it's useful to have the clarification because I suppose he's the mayor presumptive as it's a de facto Democrat city. And what I see this is an advance of populism in the culture. Some time ago, Steve Bannon said at a speech that he gave, I think at Oxford University, that the future belonged to political populism. We don't know whether it's going to be right wing or left wing. He was saying that in the UK when Jeremy Corbyn was in the ascent. Now, Jeremy Corbyn is a political figure that's all but obsolete in the UK as both parties have become centralised and neutralised, bureaucratised, and in a sense are even walking back the recent popular referendum referendum to leave the European Union, aka Brexit. What I see the rise of Mamdani as, or the potential rise at least, is an expression of the way that politics is changing in defiance of old labels. When you were listing stuff like free school dinners, free childcare, if you require free school dinners or free childcare or free housing, I feel that should be available. But I'm also very sympathetic to people that think that too much government is always a problem. And I wonder if we overemphasize or highlight his policies around sort of trans and queer issues, we might not know what's significant about this. People are really up for change. That doesn't mean that traditional politics will fall away. In a sense, like the America First nativism of Trump's campaign couldn't be more sort of nostalgic. Indeed, the word again at the end of the famous phrase is an indication that people still long for tradition and have a nostalgic lens through which they view politics. But in a city like New York, it wouldn't surprise me at all if a figure with such progressive perspectives and traditionally socialist policies were to be victorious, because I think people are desperate and people really want change. And aside from woke and cultural issues, which I think are sort of private and sort of familial and culture by nature, I think that people are right to want radical change.